Hello, you guys. So, for many years, I worked as an escort, and I do not anymore. However, I still follow some of the ladies on Twitter, and some of them will say things like they will call their appointments dates. They're appointments, they're not dates, okay, in my book. And I just wanted to say that clients and appointments are not dates. A client is coming to the lady, whether she's giving a massage or she's a dominatrix or she does BDSM or she's a tantra provider or full service provider. He's coming to her because he wants something. He's coming out of a need to, he's paying to be serviced. Okay? Now, paying to be serviced doesn't mean you get to do whatever you want. When I go in for a massage, like some kind of body work, I am paying to have my body worked on. I'm still going to respect the massage therapist, okay? I'm still going to read all the things that I have to do to get the appointment. I want to treat her with respect, but I'm not interested in her. I don't care what she had for breakfast or what her problems are or how her health is. I'm there for me. That's what I'm paying for. And that's the same with the men. They're coming because they want something. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not personal. And they don't care about the woman, and they shouldn't. They're there for themselves. Now, a good massage therapist or a good provider is going to be attentive to the client, really listen to them, really be connected and engaged, and provide a good service. I could say the same for a therapist. Years ago, I saw a therapist. I started getting a crush on him because he was such a good listener. He seemed to really care about me in the way that my partner, my spouse at the time, did not. I married the wrong guy. But no, he was paid to listen to me. He was paid to care. Who knows how he was in his relationship with his wife? I have no idea. So, when women make the mistake of calling appointments dates, they're coming from a place of not understanding what a real date is. I'll go into that in a minute. But clients can make the mistake of developing feelings for that provider. But they don't care about that provider. Honestly, ladies, they don't care about, like I said, like I don't care about my massage therapist's personal life or my hair stylist's personal life. If she's sick, I'm not going to bring her soup. I've never met her kids. I don't want to hear her problems. I'm there for me. That's what I'm paying for. I'm paying to be nurtured, attended to, and to have a good experience. So clients have to be careful not to develop feelings for these ladies or not to fall in love with the fantasy of some porn star they might see online who's just showing them an image, a fantasy, a slice of her life. Maybe she's even really authentic, but she's not bringing you all of her because she's in work mode. She's on. Okay, she's in work mode. And it's easy for clients to get carried away sometimes and develop feelings because they think that this woman somehow would be great for them, but those women don't necessarily want to date their clients, although I've heard of cases where they do. Now, the reason that an appointment is not a date is because on a date, a woman is not charging a man for sex. She's having sex with him because she wants to. So when you're charging a man for sex or to give him a massage, if he's paying you, any person who's paying you for what you do is not a date, it's a client. Whether it's an accounting client, a massage client, an escort client, a dental client, a personal training client, it's a client. And a client is not a date. It's pretty obvious. But I think that some women may feel like the men that they see in appointments treat them better than other men, and they do, because the men that are paying are going to be very respectful because they're paying. So they're going to treat that woman with a lot of respect. But that doesn't make them a date. And also, a man that's dating you is not starting with sex. Okay, a man who's dating you is taking you out, places. He's taking you out. He's not talking about sex, thinking about sex. You might be thinking about sex, but sex, while an important part of a relationship, is a very small part when we look at the amount of time that sex takes up in a relationship and the importance of it in building the foundation of a relationship. See, if a relationship foundation has to be, we're really interested in each other. We have a lot of things in common. We have a lot of common values. We really enjoy just talking. We enjoy going out. We enjoy each other when there's no sex happening. Like, we have common philosophical or spiritual interest, financial goals, emotional shared values, lifestyle commonalities that we explore and connect through. And also that sex, as far as the time goes, takes up about 1% of a relationship if people are having sex twice a week. I mean, having sex for 2 hours a week. So 168 hours in a week, and 2 hours is about 1%. So you have to have something that binds you to that person, the other 99%. That's dating. Dating is we spend the majority of our time in that 99%. That's what a relationship is. And then the sex comes along later. So, and the woman is with him because she wants to. She's not taking money for it. And the man is enjoying her company and getting to know her, not trying to fill her pussy with his dick or her mouth with his dick, okay? His primary objective is getting to know her. So that's why I say that when they say a client is a date, I think that's very harmful to these women's idea of what a date actually is. So yeah, that's what this video is about. I did have, I have more I could say about that industry, but I don't really want to talk about that as much right now. I got this new book called No Bad Parts, about parts work I've been reading. And like I told you guys, I'm going to make more videos about this. This is related to the other book I talked about the other day, but I want to get a little bit further along in it before I make a video. And I find that stuff super, super interesting. But I want to know from you guys, have you ever called your client a date? Whether it was, your therapy client or your training client or your teaching client or whatever, or have you ever fallen in love with your provider or with your therapist because they seem like they so cared about you, but they were only there, cared about you because you paid them. The moment you stop paying them, they don't care about you either. So that's what I mean. Dates do not revolve around sex or money. I've made a lot of videos saying that women shouldn't lead with their pussy and men shouldn't lead with their wallet, because friendship has to be about, do I like you? Do I enjoy your company? Do I enjoy being with you? And I think that sex and money just mess all that up and throw a wrench in it. So I think that once people build this foundation, they know they like each other, then they can be like, oh, I want to spend money on you. I want to do things for you. I want to be sexual with you. That is something that I think in a healthy environment takes time to develop. When these women just come right over to some guy's house on Tinder and fuck him, that would be like a guy taking a woman on a 5-star restaurant that he's never even met. Getting some woman on Tinder, taking her to a 5-star restaurant. That's what it's the equivalent. Like, it makes no sense at all. Because even a 5-star restaurant, like, if you look at the escort rates, they're usually like $400, $500, $600, $700 an hour. So if you're just going to dinner with some guy and you're having sex with him, like, you were not compensated enough. And women's bodies are more valuable than men's bodies. That doesn't mean that men are less valuable. Men are very valuable. But when it comes to sexual exchange, men will pay a lot and women won't, because they don't have to, because we are more choosy and we're more selective, because we are the mothers, we are the birthers. We are the ones that carry children in our bodies and then nurse them. Like we just need a sperm. I'm not saying men are not important, but men are very easily going around. Most men, can very easily go around. They will pay for it, and women are just more choosy. We know this. So the whole idea of women just going around having sex with guys for nothing, I don't get it. I tried it after my divorce and it was very heartbreaking. Either the sex was very disappointing, which 90% of the time it is very disappointing, to be honest. But every once in a while, I would get a guy, and even when I was an escort or before, I would get a guy who was extremely sensual and passionate with me, and then it would just open my heart, and I would just be like, ah. But if the guy was a hookup guy, this was when before I was an escort, if it was a hookup guy, then, and if he blew me off, it would just break my heart, and I couldn't figure out how to deal with it in a powerful way, and I finally realized I'm not made for it. But when they were paying me, I never felt used. I never felt hurt because I felt I got something of value. So that's one thing I talked about in my videos before. I didn't say it in those same terms, but I always felt like I wanted a man to invest in me, either emotionally with a relationship with a man that I was interested in, or through his resources. Because when he invested in me, I felt like what I gave him in my offering of my body was appreciated and valued. Else I felt used. Like, oh, you're just fucking me and now you're blowing me off. Like, that felt so painful to me. But when they paid me, I would just forget about them, as and I was sober and very connected, a lot of eye contact and kissing and sensual. But when they paid me, I don't know if it was because they chose me and I didn't choose them, but somehow in my whole body, I knew that they'd given me something of value. And I think that's what men have to do. In my body, that's what I feel, is that a man has to offer me something of value for me to be intimate with him. And I would think that a man would want a woman to offer him something of value before he's paying for her. So I always say men should not lead with their wallet. Like, don't you want a woman to offer you something of value? And what she offers you is her interest, her responsiveness, her joy, and her interest in you, doing things for you. Oh, I was at the store. I know you like Milky Way, so I brought you a Milky Way. It could be something like that. Or, hey, I know you like this song. I'm going to send you the song. Like something. I don't know what it's like to be a man. I'm curious what you, as a man, feel in your body that you would want from a woman before you want to give her something of great value. And remember, sex is a value of $400 to $700 for an hour. So what would you want a woman to have given you before you would buy her a $700 piece of jewelry, take her on a $700 trip, not expecting any sex in return? Like, what would make you want to just open your wallet like that? And what would make a woman want to open her body to you? Those are very similar. So I touched on two topics here. One is that clients are not dates, and that two, when a man, I think should invest in a woman before she's sexual with him, and a woman should invest in a man before he opens his wallet to her. This is kind of like my personal philosophy. I think that men who pay a lot for early dates are simps and lack confidence, because a man who's confident in himself doesn't have to pay anything because he knows his company is enough. His company should be enough. And if you think it isn't, that you have to pay as a man, or that a woman has to give him sex or whatever, I think that you might want to look at why you feel that way, why you think you're not enough for someone to just enjoy your company. Because that's what relationships are about. It's like, I like myself and I like you, and do I enjoy your company? So thank you so much for watching my video.